Hey guys, I'm Zaylee Barclay of ZayleeBarclay.com. I am the creator of the Start, Shoot, Grow Video Academy, and I'm also a Thinkific expert. You have probably seen me hosting the Think in Color Summit, which is in partnership with Thinkific. Oh my gosh, it's one of the things that I am most proud of in my career. But I'll tell you, the thing that I love doing most is creating content, right? So whether it be content for building your audience, creating your online course offering, or marketing and selling that online course, we are going to get into that today, right? So making sure that you can successfully create video content for your online course. So if you are ready, I am excited to dive in. Yeah, let's get into it. So, in the next 45 minutes or so, I am going to help you to one, think about your online course journey in a realistic way. We're also going to get started with creating your online course videos by giving you exclusive tips and behind the scenes access to my in-home studio. The next thing we're going to do is learn the three main types of video setups that you can use for creating videos for your online course creation, your sales, and your marketing. You're also going to learn how you can add real transformational value to your online course without the overwhelm of perfect visuals. So guys, first of all, let's talk about what is actually needed to create online courses today. It's not the same as in the past. In the past, to create online courses or even to create online course videos, you would have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for a production company and all of those things. I've been teaching about video content since 2015. And as we get further into, the years, it is more and more of an essential rather than just, maybe I should do this, maybe I shouldn't do this. You've got to do it. Right. And so the fact that we no longer need all of these things to actually create video content or even an online course anymore is absolutely mind blowing and game changing at the same time. So whether you are a beginner or you're very well seasoned in the game, I'm sure there's something in here that you can pull out of what I'm teaching or saying. If you're also on social media, I'd love if you get a screen grab of this class and tag me at Zaylee Barclay so that I can repost you. I actually love seeing when I share something that, people think is awesome or that they can actually take action and implement with. It makes me feel really good to see you guys actually implementing. So yeah, don't be afraid to tag me and do that. But we're going to start off with Masterclass. I'm sure you've seen Masterclass around the internet somewhere. And even though I love Masterclass and I think it's absolutely amazing, one of the things that it does, it creates unrealistic expectations for the independent course creator, meaning people like you and I who are actually doing this from scratch. So let me first explain what Masterclass is. So Masterclass is actually a platform where you are able to learn from masters in every industry. So there's photography, there's cooking, there's film production, there's acting, so many different things that you can learn. And actually, it's even though I say it's the masters in the industry, it's really people who are celebrities, right? So they pull people to the Masterclass platform. Let's say I wanted to learn how I can be an A-class actor from Denzel Washington. I can do that on masterclass.com. Now, the reason why I actually bring up Masterclass is even though it's a platform where you can learn a lot, for me, I know that when Masterclass first came out in 2015, it made me feel like, oh my gosh, if I have to create something, an online course, is that something? It has to look like this. Masterclasses on the Masterclass platform are professionally produced. They look amazing. The actors look amazing. They're well dressed. Everything is so well put together that it set an unexpected expectation for me as an online course creator. So that's why we're kind of diving into Masterclass and what it is and how it pertains to you specifically. We're going to break this down a bit further in our class, but listen, If you've seen it and you're thinking that your first online course has to look like that, and it puts you in the space of, well, I've already subscribed to Thinkific and now it's time to build my online course, but I don't know where to go from here, then this is the class for you. So the first thing I want to do is talk about the difference between you, an independent course creator, and someone, a celebrity or someone super famous on the Masterclass platform. And I mentioned Denzel Washington earlier before, but we do have Diane von Furstenberg, Spike Lee, like all of the greats, right? Who also have an online course on Masterclass. So we're going to talk about some differences that we can actually see. But you know what? Let's talk about similarities first, like things that are similar between you and, let's say, a Denzel Washington. So here's the thing. You are both experts at what you do. You're both exceptionally good at what you do, which is why you both have been thinking or have an online course, right? You both have something that you can teach and share with the world. And you're both excited about transforming other people's lives through your knowledge, right? Which could be the things that you've picked up along the way of, your professional career, or just something that you have been self-taught at and you've been really successful at it. You're both really passionate about sharing it with other people. And guess what? You both aren't pros at video production, right? Denzel isn't a pro at video production. He's an actor. And you're probably more than likely not a pro as well, right? So that's the thing. There are similarities between you both. But here's what I want to talk about even more. There are differences, right? So there are some differences between you guys. And the first difference is that you are an independent creator. Right? So you are actually starting to create your own online course from scratch, right? And you're thinking about having an online course business. Now, those people over at Masterclass are amazing at what they do, but more than likely they're being paid for their intellectual property inside of Masterclass, right? Meaning that they are actually giving their knowledge to Masterclass probably for a percentage of, the whole thing. Like they have a lot of things to pay for or account for. And honestly, if they didn't have a Masterclass and they decided to teach, they would probably be doing the same exact things that I am going to share with you here today. Seriously. So stay tuned. Right? So this is the thing. You both have substantially different budgets to work with. You may not have access to someone scripting your online course, getting you dressed, taking you through a whirlwind of wardrobe, funding a production team, and all of those fancy things that come along with someone who is, in a masterclass or creating a masterclass with Masterclass, right? More than likely, you'll be doing this by yourself. But here's the thing. The cool thing is that you are more than likely going to be keeping a bigger portion of whatever profits you make from your online course production, right? Which does not have to be insanely, crazy or extravagant. And we'll talk about that, how you can develop that as you go along. But yeah, you'll be keeping a bigger portion of the profits from what you create. And if you follow what we're teaching here today, you'll be able to really get that down and follow through with the process of it all. So in the next 45 minutes, you are actually going to learn where you are, right? So where you might be in our framework, which is the Start, Shoot, Grow, Thrive framework, right? You'll figure out what category of Start, Shoot, Grow, Thrive you fall into. And, you'll also be able to figure out what stage of the process you're in and what you need for that specific process. And I'm also going to share a bonus of how to remain focused on the value of the content that you're producing and understanding that tools are just supporting you to create content that resonates with your audience. So our goal here today is to remove all of the overwhelm associated with creating video content for your online courses. And I promise you that you're going to walk away with so much enlightenment as to what you need and, where you should be starting. Now, I want to share with you that I do have a freebie, which is a breakdown of what you need. And what we're going to be sharing in there is more of a guide that includes for each stage, like I said before, start, shoot, grow, and thrive. We're going to be talking about what hardware you need as it pertains to lights, camera, and how you can bring the action and software like editing and things that you can use to stream and connect with your audience for your online course and things like that. So you don't want to miss that. That should be somewhere under this video. So before I even dive deeper, I want to share with you a little bit about me and who I am and why I'm here to teach you and connect with you today on this specific topic. So I am Azalea Barclay and I am a video content creation coach. I really enjoy teaching you how you can really build your audience or grow your audience, nurture them, and sell to them. I believe in creating an online platform that is truly impactful and that provides transformation for whoever it might be that you are trying to connect with. I believe in video content to do that because it's kind of like, we're in a place where we're not meeting up with people face to face anymore. And video is one of the most powerful ways to actually connect with people in the online space. It really removes that barrier of them getting to know, love, and trust you. So here is where people get really overwhelmed. We end up thinking that our course is only valuable if it looks absolutely amazing, right? So we start thinking about the aesthetics of the online course, and we start thinking things like, oh my gosh, I need a lot of subscribers and followers and a huge audience and email list to create an online course. And we even start thinking that that online course has to be picture perfect in order for it to sell. Like, I have to look like I got it all together. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. What we actually need to focus on is solving a specific problem, right? Mapping out your curriculum to support the goal for your students, meaning that if you can teach someone how to get from A to X, you're able to do that, and you're able to actually give them actionable learning outcomes to get there. That's really what it's about, right? So making sure that they are getting the most out of what you are actually sharing. Whether you're doing that via videos, audio, PDFs, and we're gonna talk about content modalities as we move forward, but these things are really important. One thing that I want to leave you with right now is just to open up your mind and understand that being upfront and open and even willing to be a student, listen, that is a game changer, right? You'll learn how to improve as you go along. Your first online course does not and is not going to be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'll tell you what, authenticity will take you a very long way. When people sense authenticity in your journey, they will be willing to go through that journey with you. I promise you, it's a total game changer. So as long as you understand this as we move forward, you will definitely be successful in creating and launching your first online course. So here's what I want to set up before we move further. Time and money. That's two things that we have, right? These are two resources that we have. Some of us have time, right? So if you're just starting out with your online course business, you probably have the time to actually map things out, record whatever it is, import it into the Thinkific platform, market to the people that you want to sell to, really create, a relationship with them, sell to them, get them in there, and all of those things, right? So you probably have the time to do those things. On the other hand, so you probably have the resources or the money to hire an expert, have them get everything up and running for you, sit in a fancy studio and have lights shining around you, have someone pick out your wardrobe, get your makeup done, all of those things. We either fall into having time or money. And this is where you need to decide which one of these resources you have, right? For me, when I first started, I had the time. I didn't have the money to get all of those things done. And I know that I wanted to teach people, or I knew that I wanted to teach people how to really show up on camera. Even at the stage I was in, I didn't have much. I was in a tiny apartment in New York City. And I really started filming in a tiny corner of my living room. I would leave that set up and, sorry to my boyfriend, he had to deal with seeing that setup all the time because we never took it down because it was just part of work, right? And so I knew I had the time to learn how to edit, to figure out all of the things as it pertained to scripting, mapping out my online course, figuring out where people were starting and where they will be finishing, all of those things. And I don't regret any of those things because it taught me so many skills that I use and also actually teach others to achieve today. So I didn't have the money. I had the time to figure all of that out. And as I grew, I was able to invest along the way. After a while, I figured, okay, so I don't want to edit for myself anymore because I don't have the time to edit anymore because I'm creating content for my audience, for marketing, for sales. I'm launching, I'm doing all of these things. So I couldn't edit for myself anymore. And I knew that I had to hire an editor. So as I grew, I was able to offload. But as I grew and I made money from my online course, which started really scrappy, and like I said, in a corner of my living room, I was able to start investing those profits into actually, improving my content and doing things in a way where I could have gotten it done even though I did not have the time. So I want you to sit today and think about, listen, I have time, Zaylee, or I have money. I want you to let me know what you have, right? Let me know, like we're talking on YouTube or something. But listen, if you see me around, let me know, what do you have right now, time or money? Because I really want to know, right? And that's going to help you decide where you are in the framework of start, shoot, grow, thrive. So I just wanted to make sure to let you know that so that, we can figure out things together as we are moving forward throughout this class. Hey guys, okay, I'm so excited. So you are in my home studio, and what I'm gonna do is take you from a start set, meaning your basic set, all the way up to if you're growing and you wanna invest some more. So let's start off with the start set. And for the start set, I advise that you just start off with your computer, whatever computer you have, right? Whether you have a Windows or a Mac computer. You can also have a ring light. They're pretty affordable. I remember when I first started off and I got this ring light, because this is an older version, I think it was at least $300, right? And I have a simple overhead softbox, which is not necessarily needed, but it just comes in handy. So you don't need that. As long as you have a ring light and your computer, you should be fine. So we are recording inside of Zoom, and we want to make sure for this that you have a lapel microphone, or you can even use the headphone from your cell phone, right? Those are always good. And you can plug that in and use that headphone microphone or your lapel mic as your microphone, so that we have the lights, the camera, and you are the action, right? And remember, I told you that your personality really matters when you're teaching your online courses. So I'm at home and you guys are in my home with me, but we are going to rock out. All right, guys. So the reason why I chose your computer as your start set is because it's what you might have on hand. So if you feel like your smartphone is not great enough, you can use your computer. And this is the built-in camera that is in your computer. And what I would advise you to do is get a stand that you can use or stack your computer up on some books, right? And you can use that headphone microphone, plug it into your computer, and everyone has Zoom. Everyone's Zooming these days, so definitely plug in your headphone microphone. You can leave it close to you somewhere so that it can pick up the sound of you talking, or you can wear it. If you want a more professional appearance, then you just leave it somewhere where it can pick up you talking. So that's one thing that I want to make sure and let you know. If you have good light, you'll have better quality. Now, you'll see me upgrade in quality as I move along, but if you're starting out, start with what you have. The other thing is, don't overthink your background. You're more than welcome to use a plain wall, right? So if you don't have a setup just yet, that's fine. I was once there. I had a plain wall, or I used my brand color, which was at the time yellow, or feel free to use a green screen as well. Zoom works really well with virtual backgrounds and green screens. We're not overthinking online course creation when we're first starting. We are just getting into it. Now, when you start making a little bit more money with your online course, you can start investing and upgrading, right? And that's what I call the shoot set. Oh, hey guys, we are back. I got a little bit cold, so I had to put a sweater on, but we are getting into the shoot set. So this set is for when you start making a little money, you have a little bit of money from your online course, you can start investing into your quality, right? So we're talking audio quality, we're talking using your phone and an app that I really love instead of your actual camera. And you'll see the difference as the set keeps on improving, right? So today we are using our camera again, but we have our phone connected, right? So you'll see what that looks like in a little bit. And if you can come over here, what we have is, I have an iPhone, but this works with Android as well, and it's called Epocam, right? Or Epocam. I'm probably saying that wrong, but what I love about it is that it shows you your scene, and I like using my back camera because that's usually a bit of better quality, right? And you can see what that looks like here. Now, what I love is that the closer you are to your phone, it blurs your background out just like a fancy camera. So your phone is really great to use for this, right? It's really great to use, and I'm using it inside of the same setup. We still have a ring light. We still have a soft box above, and you can really, like I said, as you start investing, you can have natural light as well, which is a bit more tricky to film in, so I don't recommend it off the bat, but don't be afraid to sit in front of a window with this setup going as well. All right, so let's get into it. In this set, I'm also using another microphone, right? You can see my lapel mic. I'll explain that in our other set, in our grow set, but I'm using a USB microphone right here, and it's one I love. It's the Audio Technica USB microphone, and I'll put that inside of our guide, but this is really handy for me. And like I said, you guys are seeing the back end of my set. I have trappings set up. I have things that aren't perfect, but it's just, it works. It does the job, right? So I am in the grow set phase, and I will share that with you guys in a little bit. But yes, so you're using Zoom as well, and you are recording into Zoom using your USB mic and your phone as your camera. Now in this set, you can also use a webcam. Right? For me and my experience, I feel like I get a better picture or a better quality picture with Epocam inside of my phone, which works with iPhone and Android, than using a webcam. So I'm going to take you guys on the back end so you can actually see what it looks like on my screen while I am recording. All right, guys, so we are on the back end of the phone setup, and I'm really excited to walk you guys through this because it's an upgrade, right? So like we said, keep on remembering, as you start investing or as you start doing better with your online course, you can start investing. But the goal is not to make things too complicated, right? Start where you are or with what you have. And so I'm showing you guys what this back end looks like. I'm currently recording in my phone. I mentioned that this is the back camera. You can also flip it to the front camera, but your back camera is always going to have a higher quality of video. And so the cool thing is that I can actually plug my phone in and see what that looks like on Zoom on my computer screen. This way I make sure that everything is in frame and that I am still, I'm looking good with it, right? So that you make sure that you're not out of frame. So I'm not over here or over there or just completely out of, where I should be. That's really, really important. And with this setup as well, I'm making sure that my audio is really good as well. So it's an upgrade. So when you think that you need like a really high quality camera to create your online course videos, that's not true. You can actually use what you have on hand. All right, so I want to show you guys just how great EPOCam is, or EPOCam is. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but so this is, if I put my hand here, we can actually see how it blurs the rest of my background out. So this might be better if you can sit closer to the camera and it blurs your background out a bit. I wanted to be sure to share that with you guys because, I'm still sitting as close as I would with my DSLR. Now, another thing I wanted to show you guys is the difference between both sets, right? Or both qualities. So this is my computer camera. Right? So this is what I showed you guys before, what that looks like. This is the computer camera, is the built-in camera in my computer, right? And so for me, I feel like, yes, I can upgrade and use a webcam as well, but to me, the webcam quality is not much different from what you see here. But so I wanted to show you the difference between the phone, right? And this is the phone here. You can see the colors are a bit more vibrant. Everything is a bit more sharp as it pertains to, what's going on. And, it's a little bit different over here. So it's really also preference. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to, your video content creation. And obviously I'm getting a bit confused in looking at my camera right here or looking into my phone up here. But guess what? This is the down and dirty. This is the back end of it all. And I'm excited to have you guys here with me. Hey, you're back. Okay, so this is our grow set, and this is the set that I currently use. So if you look at my YouTube channel, or if you are, in my Facebook group, or if you're learning with me, this is what I use right now. And this is the set that I've invested in over time. So it's much more comfortable, and I'm able to really maneuver in it, to make things easy for me as a creator. So I have more lighting. As you can see, I was able to invest in slimmer lights because I have a smaller space. So instead of soft boxes I had before, I upgraded to the Elgato key lights. I also here have a teleprompter, because now I do much more brand sponsorships and things like that. And that really comes in handy. And if you can come over here, we can show what that teleprompter looks like. So it is over here. And I am able to actually use this really cool teleprompter app, and I can move the words around. So I use the Glide Gear teleprompter with my iPad, and it makes things so easy for me to use. Right? So it's super simple. You can see that I'm controlling it and I'm not even near to it, right? Super, super, super cool. One of the best investments ever, right? And the other thing is now I'm using a DSLR, or I would say a mirrorless camera. So I've upgraded. Sometimes I switch in between different lenses and things like that. So I can hook that up to my camera or to my computer. And whether I'm recording with Zoom or with Ecamm, I love using Ecamm Live to record and also to go live with my people inside of my Facebook group. Now, the other thing is that I have my USB microphone
which is so comfortable for me to use. You can see, like I said, I still have things going on where it's connected to a smaller desk because this arm is a bit long. But on the front end, when it comes to recording, I can, like I told you before, control my teleprompter from here. I have a higher quality video, which I'll definitely show you in a little bit. And my lighting, it just sets things off in the most beautiful way ever. So this works for me. Another thing that I invested in is my Stream Deck. So this is by Elgato, and it allows me to do different things as it pertains to my video. I can actually just start recording from here. I can pause, I can mute, I can stream from here. Now, these things aren't essential when you're first starting, but as you grow and you start really producing a one-man show, these things are really, really, really helpful. So this is what my set looks like. Sometimes I add another camera, so I have another view, and I'm able to use my Stream Deck to switch in between both views because most times I'm recording by myself. And that just makes things so easy for me. So my overhead light, my side-by-side lighting, so it's a 3-point lighting system. My camera is right there. I have my computer right there, which serves as my viewfinder as well. So I can see into it, whether I'm using Zoom, like I said before, or Ecamm to record my lessons. It makes it super simple for me. So I hope this is helpful because you can see the back end. And yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm taking you on the front end so you can actually see what this looks like, right? So you can see how my set has graduated, right? From our starter set, our shooter set, and our grower set or grow set, right? Now, for me, this is what I use right now, as I mentioned before, and I absolutely love it. You can see how things have changed. So one thing I would like to show you is where we started from, which is our computer or webcam, our native. So I'm looking down back here because this is where my computer is, but this is the native built-in camera inside of my computer, which you can definitely start with. And then as I developed things, I was able to start using a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Like I said before, sometimes I have another camera attached where I show a different view of things. So it's definitely an upgrade, but this is for as you grow, right? As you're growing, for me, I live stream a lot for marketing. I'm creating YouTube videos. I'm uploading 3 videos a week on YouTube where I teach my audience about video content, how to use specific tools in your online course business, how to use Thinkific. I teach so many things on YouTube. So if you're not following me there, definitely do that. But for me, I definitely needed to upgrade as I moved things along. So as you move along in your business, you can do that as you're growing, but I started exactly where I'm showing you guys when I first began creating online courses. So my video journey has developed and it's not done yet. I'm not, where I want to be just yet, but I keep on going with it. And I want to encourage you to do the same. No overthinking. Let's just get into it. All right, guys, we have made it to the end. So we covered your start set, your grow set, your shoot set, and now we're going to talk about your thrive set. And you're probably wondering, Zaylee, what is that? So your thrive set is for when you validated your online course, it is doing exceptionally well, and you figured out your framework and all of those things, and now you're deciding to invest in creating a signature version of your online course. So now this is the version that is the end all be all that you'll probably re-record every 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So that's the thing. You don't want to invest all of this money in hiring a crew and having it professionally done. When you're thriving, you're able to have someone script your online course, record it. You're probably flying off to a secret location for a few days. It's that whole thing where, they're editing and recording and doing all of the things for you. You just have to sit and deliver as the product, and they will then create that product for you. They're probably more than likely going to create your sales and marketing videos. Like, it is such a production. And I know that you see courses like this online. And if you look at those people, you realize that they've probably made hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars on their online courses already. And so now they've decided to invest in that kind of production, that kind of, va-va-voom for their online course offering. And that's the thing. So we don't want to compare ourselves to those people, especially if we are just starting off. So that is what the Thrive set involves. You don't do anything at all. Somebody else does all of that for you. So I hope now you understand where or what it takes for starting, which I've definitely gone through all of these phases of starting, validating my product, improving it, investing in it, and growing. And hopefully soon you'll see me thrive, right? But that's the thing. So you don't want to put yourself out of your way or compare yourself to somebody else's day 1000 in their journey. So I want you to kind of release comparison and remember that you recording your online course and starting off is actually what people want from you. And that's what I mean when I say your Thrive set. All right, guys, before I get out of here, I just want to remind you that we did comparisons today as it pertains to all the different types of sets that you can create. But if I only see one specific video, I'm not going to be able to compare that to something else. And I want you to keep that in mind when it comes to creating your online course. So when someone is looking at your specific online course, they're not seeing different variations of what that video would look like anywhere else, meaning they're going to be focused on what they're looking at the time. So really, when we think about increasing the quality and having amazing, beautiful videos, that's really all in your head, and it pertains to what you think beautiful videos are. But it's not going to change how that person learns from your online course content and what they're able to achieve if it is really intentional, impactful, helpful content. So I just wanted to put that in there so that you know that what you are creating is definitely going to be a game changer for your student, regardless of what it looks like. Wait. One thing I want to remind you about the people that I just spoke about who are doing absolutely amazing in their business, they started in the start set phase. Okay? Now, one person that I love is Marie Forleo. And when she started her YouTube channel, if you go all the way back, you can see the quality of videos that she started creating at first. I'm sure she was recording on her couch with her phone. So I just want to remind you that we all start from zero. We're all starting somewhere. And so don't be afraid or ashamed of where you are in your journey. That's what it's going to take to get you into the Thrive set space. All right, how are you guys feeling about what we've covered so far? I know it's a lot, but it's so essential to understand exactly where you are and the action that you should be taking pertaining to where you are, right? So in this section, we want to remain focused on the value of the content that you're producing and understanding that, like I said before, tools are just supporting you to create content that resonates with your audience. So now that you're able to understand that when you increase the cost of your course as you move along the process, you're able to then enhance the visual content. But now you also have amazing insights and results based on students' feedback and reviews. When we try to figure it all out at the beginning, it never quite works out for us. So it's kind of a situation where you have to do the thing and then act upon the results that comes from the thing, right? So remaining focused on the value of that content that you're producing and understanding, how your people are responding to what you're doing, or what are their actions, or what have they been emailing you about, or, anything like that is always really helpful. You got to pay attention to that. So let's talk about a few ways that we can even add more value in our online course, right? You want to make sure that you are thinking out things step by step. I always say one of my gifts, or people tell me all the time, one of my gifts is thinking about things in a linear format. I'm able to easily break things down as it pertains to what's going to stack on top of this step to really make sense as it pertains to your learning outcomes and your goals in your online course, right? And so for me, that works pretty well as an expert and as a coach. But you have to remember that when you can think things out step by step, your audience is actually paying you to give them a deep dive into what you've decided to teach. So I don't like skipping anything out. I like to think about, how is my student actually taking in this content, right? That way, it's easy to break things down. It's easy to figure out, okay, how is this person taking in this content? Meaning, like, what do I have to do in order for them to really stay in alignment with their goals? And I like to think about, how can I make this mindless for my student? How can I add scripts? How can I add templates? How can I add a detailed walkthroughs? Like, how is my student actually ingesting this content? And what can they do to take specific action to make it a no-brainer for them? That always works for me, and that's the feedback I get. Zaylee, you make things seem so simple with step by step by step. So I like to assume that my student doesn't know anything about what I'm teaching, so that I'm able to cover all of my bases. Then I want to think about the thing that has moved the needle most for me, based on whether it's working with clients or, what I'm teaching. So what really moves the needle, whether it's templates, whether it's things that you may not think that your student needs, but giving your students wins like these, meaning that, Zaylee, if I can copy and paste your thing into my thing, because that has moved the needle the most for you as it pertains to what you're teaching, then that's going to make a huge difference for me. People want results. They want results, right? So I like to think about, like, what is going to keep my person coming back for more after they get these results. So you got to remember that when someone pays you for access to an online course, they're just paying you for everything that you know, and you don't want to hold back on that, especially if people are paying you, right? I like to say, in our marketing, we teach the why you should know XYZ, and inside of your online course, you teach the how to execute or get to a promised result XYZ, right? Another thing that I like to keep in mind is that people learn differently, and I love providing different content modalities for my students, meaning some people like watching videos. Some people would prefer to listen to an audio at the gym. Some people need a step-by-step walkthrough or tutorial. And this is also on you to figure out on the other side, like for your student, like, how would they best understand what I'm teaching, right? Do they need to see this thing? Is it a recipe where they need to see a step-by-step of what you're trying to share? Or is it something that I can just talk it out and then they'll understand it? So you need to sit down and figure out, how is this content going to best make an impact on the person that is ingesting it? So even if I do add a video, if it's a video where, I'm talking about something and someone can actually listen to it, and I'm not walking them through something via a screen share or a screen, it might mean that I can probably, extract the audio from the video and be able to put it there so that, that person can listen along, right? So think about different content modalities. Sometimes people would rather read a transcript of a video than actually sit down and look at the whole video. Sometimes I find myself doing that inside of online courses as well, right? So people ingest things differently. People learn differently. And I love using Thinkific to cater to the different ways that my students might be learning. Super important. Now, the other thing is that people don't need 1,000 modules to reach the goal that you have promised in your online course. They really don't. Sometimes we think that, I'm going to go around and around in circles so that it looks like my course is filled with fluff. And I'm saying this because I've seen this, right? You need to keep your specific goal in mind and think about, what does my student need to accomplish or achieve this goal? Keep your process short and to the point, because that's how people get quicker wins and quicker results. I want you to focus on being solution driven. The fluff is not needed. All right. Now, this one is a game changer, and I don't want you to forget it. Don't be someone else. Be yourself. I remember listening to Oprah talking about how when she first started, she wanted to be like Barbara Walters. And so she was, on camera interviewing someone, and they asked, or there was a question on her sheet that said, are you from Canada? And in talking, Oprah said, in her Barbara Walters voice, are you from Canada? And then she realized, a few seconds later that this was being recorded live. And I said Canada because I was trying to sound like someone else. You don't have to do that. People want you in your online course, especially if you're launching and you're selling. Listen, you are selling and people are buying because it's you, right? I love repeating over and over. People buy from people, not businesses. If someone bought a solution from you, it's because they trust that you are able to take them from point A to point X. So keep that in mind. And if you're not in a place where you feel like you have the most magnificent video content quality, give your heart, friend. That's what's going to get you all the way through. I don't care if someone has a $10,000 production. What really matters is that they're connected to you. And that is what's going to make people buy from you over and over again. So keep that in mind, because that's super important. And sometimes people actually forget about that. Be yourself. Be you. That's why people are buying into what you are selling. You don't know how much value you can give by having your student know how passionate you are about what you do. Now, one more tip that I do want to give is communication is key. And now when I'm talking to you, I keep eye contact with you. I'm smiling, I'm energetic, and I want you to get to the end of this class. So in doing this and giving you the energy and ensuring what I really want you to get out of it based on structure and how I structured this class, and also based on me speaking to you in a way that is fully digestible, energetic, and exciting, hopefully you've made it this far. And that's something that definitely, apart from whatever equipment you use and all of these things, your energy is free. And for me, I like to think about being or making sure that I'm inspiring the person on the other end to keep pushing forward inside of the content that I'm teaching, right? So on top of breaking things down and making sure that things are digestible, which is truly, truly important. I never advise anyone to make hour-long videos for one module or one lesson. Right? So making sure that your content is digestible and solution driven, like I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're putting energy into that good energy, that inspirational, motivational, you can do this, you can accomplish whatever it is that you signed up for inside of this course, right? So I want you to make sure that you are doing that. And that really does contribute to the engagement in the course, the reception of that online course. And like I mentioned before, how digestible it is as well. Some people need an extra push. If they could have done it on on their own, they may not have signed up for your online course. All right, guys, so we have come to the end of this class. I know that there was a lot packed in here, but I just want to remind you or recap what we have learned together and what we have accomplished together today. So you hopefully now understand where you are in the Start, Shoot, Grow, Thrive category for your video content creation for your online course. And hopefully you now understand what you should be focusing on doing at each stage of that framework or process. And the last thing is, I hope that you really got a good grip on how you can remain focused on the value of the content that you're producing and understanding, like I said before, that the tools are just supporting you to create content that resonates with your audience. So listen, I can't wait to see what you do with your online course. And I want you to be sure to check out the Start, Shoot, Grow Video Academy over at startshootgrow.com, hosted on Thinkific, right? I want you to make sure, and like I said before, tag me if you are watching this workshop, and do not, my darling, forget to download our guide down below for your online course creation as it pertains to video content. Guess what? I'll see you around the internet. Thank you for being here. Take care.